We were discussing
25.
25. Yes. So we will chant the 25th and the 26th sutra. But before that, all of us will chant at least five sutras as before. Puruji, would you please take us through the first to fifth sutra, if possible? First to fifth. Renaji?
Just one thing, can I ask you? I'm not at home. I'm in a public place. I would not chant today because I would disturb everybody here. I will just
Absolutely. You can let me know. If you don't have the
Thank
text,
you.
just
Thank
Puruji, do you have the text with you to chant first to fifth?
जी मैम.
Okay, so first to fifth by Puruji, Renaji 6th to 11th or 6 to 10th, Shailaja ji from 11th to 15th, Mandeep ji 16th to 20th. Then we have Jalpa ji with us. No. Pooja ji. Next 5. Yes, Hitesh ji, you are possible for you to chant today?
No, ma'am, we are in a very noisy place.
Okay, okay.
So queuing for next 10 minutes. My name also.
No.
Me, Vibhakur, and Jalpati. Three. Is that right now?
No problem. So we can begin. Yes, Puruji.
अथ योगानुशासनं योगश्चित्तवृत्तिनिरोधः तदा द्रष्टु स्वरूपे अवस्थानं वृत्तिस्वरूप्यम् इतरत्र वृत्तये पञ्चतय क्लिष्ट अक्लिष्ट
प्रमाणा विपर्याय विकल्प निद्रा स्मृतयः प्रत्यक्ष अनुमान आगमाः प्रमाणानि विपर्यो मिथ्या ज्ञानम् अतद्रूप प्रतिष्ठम् शब्द ज्ञानानुपाति वस्तु शून्यो विकल्पः अभाव प्रत्यय आलम्बन वृत्ति निद्रा
अनुभूत विषया संप्रमोषः स्मृतिः अभ्यास वैराग्याभ्यां तन्निरोधः तत्र स्थितौ यत्नोऽभ्यासः स तु दीर्घकाल नैरन्तर्य सत्कारसेवितो दृढभूमिः दृष्टानुश्रविकविषया वितृष्णस्य वशीकारसंज्ञा वैराग्यां तत्परं पुरुषख्यातेर् Oh, I think somebody else was supposed to chant.
तत्पर्यं पुरुषख्याते गुण वैतृष्णं श्रद्धा वीर स्मृति समाधि प्रज्ञपूर्वक इतरेषां तीव्र संवेगानाम् आसनाहन मृदुध्यात्वात् ततोऽपि विशेषः I'm sorry, I skipped the page. I skipped the page. I'm sorry. After 16, it was 17. With वितर्क विचार आनंद स्मिता रूप अनुगमात संपज्ञात विराम प्रत्ययाभ्यास पूर्वः संस्कारेषुण्यः भव प्रत्यो विदेह प्रकृति लयानाम् श्रद्धा वीर्य स्मृति समाधि प्रज्ञा पूर्वक इतरेषाम्
Yes. Pooja ji, would you continue from here till the last sutra?
Yes. Tivra samveganam asanaha
Mrudu madhya dhimatradva tato api visheshaha Ishwara pranidhanadva klesha karma vipaka asayir aparam rushtaha purusha vishesha ishwaraha tatra niratisayam sarvajna bijam. 25th.
Yes. We will now move on to the 26th Sutra. Sa esha purveshamapi guruhu kalena anavachchedat. Am I audible?
Yeah, should we repeat?
Yes, yes. I think I lost you.
Sa esa purveshamapi guruha kalena anavachchedat.
Kalena anavachchedat. Sah, that is he, eshaha, this, here, purvesham, of the ancients, api, to, guruhu, teacher, kalena, by time, anavicchedat, non-limited or not limited by. So, this Ishvara is the guru of the most ancient gurus and is not limited by time. Means what? In Hindi, locally we would say, समय इनका कुछ भी नहीं बिगाड़ सकता है. Or we would simply say, it's not limited by time nor affected by time in any way and is the guru of the gurus. Now, how we will understand this? Let's try to see in the Sanskrit commentary. Sa esha purveshamapi guruhu kalananvichchedat. Purve hi guruvah kalenanvichchidyante yatra vichchedyarthena kala nepa vartate sa esha purveshamapi guruhu yathasya sargasya deo prakarshegyatya siddhastha atikranta sarga dvisha api pratyevavya. So what do we say here? So many teachers and gurus, greatest of gurus, we have observed, but all of them were limited by time. Means what? With time, no matter whatever was their greatest contribution, all of them were limited by time. But Ishvara, if I ask you a question today, do you think God answers prayers? Or do you think Ishvara exists? Yes, the answer would be yes, a higher power always governs. So, gurus or the greatest of siddhas or the greatest of liberated ones were limited by time. But when we talk about Ishvara, Ishvara has been experienced before, will be experienced now, and will continue to be experienced. So, Ishvara is not limited by Kala. Yes, so not limited by time, not limited by space. The teachers were specific to a certain region, greatest of gurus. But when we talk about Ishvara, this higher power, the experiences have been universal in nature. So therefore, this Ishvara is also the master of time, is an observer of creation and destruction. Such Ishvara is the guru of the most ancient gurus and is going to be the guru of the next gurus. So you may study under a guru, the Shastras. Yes. So from a primary guru, you may study your Shastras, you may study from a monk, you may study from a Grahastha guru. But ultimately, once you complete your studies and you're closer to the path of liberation, you're going to experience Ishvara. Why? Because Guru has been limited first by body, then by time, cannot be with you everywhere, then by place, is specific or is, limited to a certain area. But when we talk about Ishvara, is neither limited by body, which means the presence of Ishvara can be felt in different ways, through different bodies, through different species, not only humans, through animals. Divinity can be experienced through divine animals, not necessarily only by humans. So there is no condition of body or form when it comes to Ishvara. Presence can be felt by the living and in the unliving too, in the non-living too. Yes, therefore we say Ishvara is the guru of the most ancient gurus. Why? Because he has not been limited first by time, second by place, third by form. Whereas my guru can be subject to limitation. Bhagwan Buddha has been subject to this limitation. Adi Shankaracharya, subject to this limitation. But Ishvara, no. Sakshat Ishvara. When I say my guru is Sakshat Ishvara, means what? I feel the Ishvara through my guru. But that does not mean the guru is Ishvara. We hope we are able to understand this difference. The greater my guru is, the greatest of guru means what? I start having spiritual experiences of the divine or Ishvara when I am in contact with my guru. That means my guru is an instrument of this experience. Sakshat Ishvara. I experience Ishvara through my guru. How long will I experience? As long as guru is in the deha, in the body form. Once my guru leaves the form, the body, then what? Then how will I experience Ishvara? I will continue to experience Ishvara in different ways through different forms, in people unknown and people known to me. For that moment, they will forget who they are and simply act as an instrument of the divine for some short time to me. For example, there is something you need urgently. A kind stranger might come and give it to you without a question. Something you badly need and it has been handed over to you, and there is no mention of it. You don't know how it happened. So, in such ways, through different forms, Ishvara can have his grace on us. That's the difference we see in the greatest of gurus in the history, right from the liberated ones. Also, to gurus who we have experienced in person. Ishvara is their guru. Who is Ishvara? My guru's guru. This is what this sutra brings to us. So that we know that ancient teachers have been conditioned by time, but Ishvara is not conditioned by time. Just make a note for 24th to 27th as important sutras discussing Ishvara. And how will this Guru be expressed when we look at the Sanskrit alphabets? Wherever there is Gya or Jya as it is spelled in different dialects, the Jya or Gya is referred to as Ishvara in Sanskrit. So what is Ishvara? Jya means knowledge, Gya or Jnana. Gya, wherever this syllable Gya will be expressed, it would mean the presence of Ishvara. So Ishvara is what? Equal to knowledge. Knowledge of what? Of all the beings, not just one being, but of all the beings. So if I want to experience Ishvara, I have to first experience the teachings. What are the teachings? They are like the steps to walk towards Ishvara. The words, the scriptures of the previous gurus. Ancient gurus, every guru wanted to experience the Ishvara. And whenever they experienced, they wrote about their experience. So I go through reading what they have discussed about Ishvara. When I go through their reading, I am more closer to realizing the Ishvara. Therefore, we say, Sa Esha Purvesham api Guruhu Kalanan Vichedar. Cannot be limited by time. Or time does not exist as a condition. Some people say Vedas are the Ishvara. We saw in the previous sessions. Why Vedas are or knowledge is said to be Ishvara? Because this knowledge exists. It's relevant. When we even study the Bhagavad Gita, we see Arjuna, what questions Arjuna has asked has been the questions which are relevant today also. These are the questions which will be relevant in the future also. Every person who will be born will first think, why am I suffering? Why can I not be happy always? What is death? What is time? Who is God? All of these questions will come into the mind of every being who is born. And the answers to these questions are the experience of Ishvara. So therefore we say Ishvara is not limited by time. The answers are found in the Vedas. So as long as the creation continues, these questions will arise in the heart and the answers are found in the Vedas. Therefore, Vedas or this supreme knowledge is also said to be the expression of Ishvara. With this, we move on to the next sutra. Now, students went to Sage Patanjali, very excited. They said, okay, now that you have discussed about Ishvara, Guruji, how can we experience the Ishvara? Or if we want to describe to you that we have had an experience of Ishvara, or if we want to praise Ishvara, we usually praise a deity to have the blessings of the deity. So students go to Sage Patanjali and ask, if we want to call out to Ishvara, if we want to praise the Ishvara, if we want to invoke the Ishvara when we are in need, how can we express through body form? How can we call? How can we use our senses? Do we have to close our eyes and visualize something? or we have to act with our limbs, or we have to speak with our mouth. How can this be expressed? That is the sutra number 27. Tasya vachakaha pranavaha.
Tasya vachakaha pranavaha.
Tasya vachakaha pranavaha.
Tasya vachakaha pranavaha.
Tasya means to him or his. Vachakaha, connoting, is pranavaha, the sacred word Om. What is pranavaha? The mantra Om. The name of the mantra Om is Pranava. So, if anybody asks us, where is this described that the meditation on Om takes us to the understanding of Ishvara, we would say Sutra number 27. So, what is this Pranavaha? Let's see in the commentary, Sanskrit Bhashya. Tasya vachakaha Pranavaha Vachya Ishvara Pranavasya Kimasya Sanketa Krutam Vachya Vachakatvamaya Pradeepa Prakasha Avidarthastam iti स्थितेयस्य वाचस्य वाचकेन सह सम्बन्धः संकेतस्तीव ईश्वरस्य स्थितं वर्थम् अभिमयनति यथार्थवस्थिताः पिता पुत्रेयः सम्बन्धः संकेत नावविद्योऽस्तेय अयमस्य पिता अयमस्य पुत्र इति सर्गान्तरेषा अपि वाच्यवाचक शक्यस्यपेक्षास्थैव च संकेतः क्रियते. We will see the meaning of this sutra. Now, this sutra says Tasya vachakah pranavaha. The word expressed is Om. So all the students of Sage Patanjali are listening. Sage Patanjali says Om is made out of three important words: A, U, and Ma. These three parts also signify the time, past, present, and future. These three also signify the lokas, the three realms of existence. Beings exist in three realms. One is beneath the ground, one is on the ground, and third is above the ground. So, to express or to call out to Ishvara, there must be a word which is all encompassing, which describes everything. In that sound, there is everything that is required, which is not limited, which takes care of everything. So, such a syllable is the mantra Om. The mantra Om also discusses the three states, A, U, and Ma, which is the Turiya Avastha, the sleeping, the waking, and the Avastha of Samadhis and liberation. For now, we will see the three Avasthas as the Avastha of sleeping, of dreaming, and the waking. So, three states. Such is the mantra Om. So, Sage Patanjali says this word connotes Ishvara, Om. Why? Because it has everything in it. Like the relation between the father and the son. Such is the relation between Ishvara and Om. Understand again? As the relation between the father and the son, where you cannot prove that to this son this is the Father. Just by saying, just by observing, you know. And just by observing the Father, you know the Son. You need not have a name, you need not have the document, you need not have anything. Just by trust. If anybody comes to you and they say, this is the Father and the Son, and you observe, you experience, you say, yes, they are. Such is the relation between the mantra Om and Ishvara. So the mantra Om is the highest, the purest state of senses of the vocal cords of what we speak. And it's not a word, it's a sound. It's a vibration. What is Om? It's not a word, it's a vibration that is caused by 3 syllables of A, U, and Ma. Now, this A begins from which solar plexus chakra? Solar plexus, that is the navel center. What is this? Hunger or desire? What do we feel here in the solar plexus? All the desires, all the wishes that we have throughout as long as we exist. We act according to the solar plexus. It's the core strength. Now this same syllable A, if we try to observe it in Devanagari, this A, when it passes through the throat, the hollow of the throat, which is the Vishuddhi, the back portion of the syllable A, those who know in Sanskrit how A has been expressed, we will see it in the next class also. We are going to discuss on Om in length. So, when we look at the syllable A, this A, when it passes through the throat, the back portion of it falls off and it becomes U. So it's the same A which becomes U when it passes through the throat. And when it passes through the throat, it further is to be removed out of the body. So therefore the Ma sound, the Brahmari pranayam is added to it to create the vibration. So this same A becomes U, and after U, what happens? You see A and Ma, you will see a difference. The A became U, and this same U again looked like A, but there is a curve of the lips. So in the next class, when we actually look at the syllable, it will be more clear to us. But as an introduction, we see A, U, Ma is nothing but the same alphabet A going through transformation. And this same transformation, A is what? Our ahamkara. It begins with what? Desires, us as person, dependent on desires, fulfilling our needs at the solar plexus. When we reach U, what happens here? We let go of our needs and we engage ourselves in what? Chanting. So from hankering towards the needs, we go towards expressing our spiritual experiences, calling out the name of the God in chanting. Or simply, the mind is diverted from solar plexus when it reaches the Vishuddhi chakra. What is Vishuddhi? This chakra. The throat is symbolic of cleansing the poison. So whatever that we consume through food, which part of the body knows whether it's poisonous or not? It is the throat. It is the saliva. So there is also a being in the sea. If you see in the oceans, we see many frogs who have a certain pearl in their neck, in their throat. And such a pearl is derived by humans to cure the deadliest of poisons. So Vishuddhi actually means the controller of poisons. And what kind of controller first? Of my words. So through my desires, whatever were the words which were throwing out poison, all of those were controlled. The moment the vibration of reached the throat center, it became U. Just when we touch on, maybe there is hot fire and we accidentally step, what do we say? Oh, or oh, what a mistake I have made. So this understanding that I should now be careful, this Vishuddhi, this purification of speech, of words, happens at the Vishuddhi. The instrument that is used for chanting, which is the tongue, purifies. A person prefers to be silent than to talk. And by remaining silent, what happens? Is saved from lying first. What is the poison? Falsifying or fabricating the truth. There are many people who, always struggle that, madam, unknowingly I, end up exaggerating, or unknowingly I end up speaking excess. How can I stop lying, or how can I, stop this? Best way is to be in silence. So when this moves through the throat center, it becomes oo. And what does it do? It purifies the speech, changes the words into vibration as it is expressed as ma, Brahmari pranayam. So your every word becomes a Brahmari. And what does Brahmari pranayam do? It works on the neurons of the brain. It cleanses the brain, brings it to its highest, sharpest potential. So when I am silent, only then I can hear. Hear what? The response of God when I called out. If I am not silent, how will I know the response to what I had asked for or what I had called out for? So sage Patanjali, through this sutra, subtly expresses the importance of the mantra Om as a simple instrument to realize Ishvara. Says you exhaust your desires just by the chanting of Om. You save yourself from many karmas which are spoken, unspoken through this chanting, and at the same time, you're working on your lifespan, each of the breath through the pranayam Brahmari. So the ma or humming sound further expands it. When in the chanting of Om, if we stress on a, it has a different benefit. If we stress more on U, it has a different benefit. And when we stress on Ma, it has a different benefit. That sage Patanjali will help us with in the next sutras. But for now, when we look at Ishwara and Om, what comes to our mind? The relation of that of a father and a son. There is so much of father in the son, and there is so much of son in the father himself. They are distinct and they are alike. So this sutra in the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra specifically is devoted to Om, and previous 3 sutras were to bring about the importance of this sutra. Now the further sutras will help us with how this vibration is to be invoked. How can I change my words into a vibration? Why? Because words are the lower realm. In the higher realm, what do we see? Vibrations. So if I want to bring my experiences from the earthly realm to the higher realm, Bhu, Bhuvar and Swaha, Swargaloka, or simply the understanding of realm above me, what should I do? I must send out a vibration there first. And it should be a vibration, not a word. So I should convert my words into the vibration, because the entire universe that we see is a vibration. Ishvara can be reached out in this vibration, not by words. By words, your guru, the mortal beings, all of them can be reached out. You call out your guru, the guru will immediately be there for you. But for Ishvara, can you call out? Just as the name, it will be limited. You can call out by different names, but it will still be limited in some sense. If you want to call out to the presence of one who is in all these three lokas or realms of existence, you must reach out as a vibration. And when you reach out as a vibration, what you practice next? Silence. Because you also have to receive the next vibration that comes to you. So when we are constantly chanting the vibration of Om, whenever we are expressing Om, we will never say, I am saying the mantra Om. We always say, I am expressing Om. It's the highest expression of my body, a vibration. Any empty instrument or vessel also, when it is filled, it has a different vibration. When it is empty, it has a different vibration. When it's filled, it has a lower vibration. When it's empty, it gives a loud vibration out. So similarly, by chanting Om, I empty myself, and this vibration goes on intensifying. Where I realize I am the vibration, I am myself, I am in the form of vibration. So if I want to have an experience higher to me, then I have to change my means of asking for it through the expression. Now all the students listening to Sage Patanjali for the first time through this sutra found a way or method to raising their experiences from the earthly realm. There have been many Siddhas and many Gurus in Hardwar, in Rishikesh, in Uttarkashi, in Tapovan, whose answer to everything has been Om. You ask them, Baba, have you eaten? Answer is Om. The police may come sometimes to drive them away with a stick. They simply chant Om. They are suffering, they chant Om. They are smiling, they chant Om. They have been accused, they chant Om. They have been praised, they chant Om. So greatest of yogis have made of use of this instrument. Therefore, we see at the beginning of any spiritual text, we will encounter the mantra Om. Why? Because I want to praise the God in this vibration, in this realm, not on the earthly realm. So through the instrument of Om, I increase my understanding of expression. And then I maybe chant the Gita Dhyanam. Pujaji, when we study the Gita together, Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Muninam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrutavarshiniam Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavedveshinim. So when I make you chant the mantra Om before the Dhyanam, what are you doing? Raising your vibration up to this understanding of the Gita Dhyana. So before any mantra, even before you start your TTC classes, you will see the teacher uses the syllable Om as first Nada Pratyahara. Pratyahara or withdrawal of senses with the help of sound. Om is not considered as a word, but is considered as a sound. In the TTC, all of us who have studied the meditation of 300 hours with me, we saw different types of pratyahara. Yoga pratyahara, Nadi pratyahara and Shabda pratyahara. So Om is also a form of Nada pratyahara, an alerting sound. So wherever the student is, the moment he or she is beginning the class, The chant of Om empties the mind instantly. You must have observed it. 3 times if you chant Om before you begin your asana class or anything that you practice as your sadhana, you will see the mind becomes free. So Om is also a part of Nada Pratyahara, sound-based Pratyahara, which alerts the mind. With this understanding, we conclude the partial discussion on the mantra Om here. Allow this to remain with us, and in the next session, we continue from how as to what time is specific for each one of us for this practice. Can everybody chant Om everywhere? At every time with everyone? So all of these questions we will see in the next class. If you have any question, you may ask. We can't hear you, Jalpaji, if there is a question.
Vibs had a question.
I'll ask ma'am for next class. I have a few questions to ask, which I'll ask you next time.
Sure, okay. I hope today's understanding of the mantra Om, Pranava. What is the name of the mantra? Pranava. So if you're a meditator, you will say, I am a Pranava Upasak. What is the term for you? Pranava Upasak. So Patanjali has not advised any mantra throughout the Yoga Sutras, has only mentioned one mantra for the practitioner of yoga, that is Om. What is to be noted here? Sage Patanjali has given the gift of the mantra Om to the yoga practitioner. No other long mantra, no other mantra, no other shloka. Just the mantra Om is to be practiced like it's a Guru mantra. Through the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra in the previous times, Gurus would give a personalized mantra to the student. Through this text, the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, today we take the Diksha of this Guru Mantra Om from Sage Patanjali. Today onwards, as we take the Diksha of the Mantra Om, please try to practice at least one Japamala of the Mantra Om by yourself. It is mandatory from this Sutra onwards. On this Sutra, when Sage Patanjali described the Om, after that, all the students started meditating on the mantra Om. So it would be very helpful for all of us also to understand that today we have taken the Diksha of the mantra Om from Sage Patanjali, and therefore make it a part of our daily routine. Practice at least one Japamala, 108 Om chanting. It will expedite your sadhana at different levels if you begin it from today onwards. The best way to begin Thursday, but tomorrow is Amavasya, so you begin today. Otherwise, I would have said tomorrow morning. If you can, just chant Om for 11 times today, then tomorrow onwards you can do your continuous sadhana. Today we take the Diksha of mantra Om from Sage Patanjali through the Yoga Sutras. On this note, we conclude today's session. Bring your palms together at the heart center. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Shishyate. Om Shanti Shanti. Gently bow your. Bring your awareness and attention to the significance of this day. Thank your gurus. Thank Sage Patanjali. Know that you are always observed, taken care of by Ishvara. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. External eyes. Namaskaram. Thank you for joining us. We meet again for our next class. Hari Om. Namaste.
Agishuji. So next class will be Thursday.
Yes, as regular. Friday, Saturday, as regular. Okay.
Thank you.